entrevistas cuando iban los de IBM de que hablaban, qué proyectos tenían actualmente. Por ejemplo, IBM tiene Watson, la tecnología de Watson, y es una tecnología que ha estado creciendo bastante en los últimos años. Bueno, entonces, lo que yo hice fue, presentamos un proyecto, bueno, eran proyectos fake, presentamos un proyecto de la NASA y usamos todo el catálogo como inteligencia artificial, automatizaciones. Lo utilizamos en ese proyecto, lo presentamos porque era un panel de jurados, éramos 50 chicas, se hicieron alrededor como de 5 equipos, más o menos, éramos de 10 cada uno el equipo, y lo que se hizo fue presentar en un panel de jurados. Para eso teníamos mentores también, pero todo desde un principio, desde cómo te expresabas, cómo llegabas, cómo te involucrabas en tu equipo de trabajo, todo eso contaba y lo calificaron. Al final nos hicieron una entrevista one to one, y ahí ya nos empezaron a preguntar qué es lo que nosotros queríamos para nuestra carrera, qué es lo que nosotros veíamos en IBM que queríamos pertenecer a la empresa. Y ya al final, esta fue la última entrevista que tuvimos. Y pues a la semana más o menos nos llegaron los resultados. Fuimos 25 seleccionadas y pues ya fue una gran sorpresa porque fue un día muy enriquecedor, eh, pero también muy pesado, porque teníamos los nervios de punta, porque al final del día queríamos pertenecer a IBM. Eh, ay, perdón. Y ya por último, pasé alrededor de mes y medio en IBM, conociendo a la empresa, nos dieron cursos y después del mes y medio nos dieron un proyecto. Y para mí, me seleccionaron para el proyecto de Salesforce. Salesforce acababa de ser partner en IBM, tenían muy poco de haberse relacionado los dos, IBM y Salesforce, y me dieron el proyecto de Salesforce. Era un equipo bastante pequeño, era alrededor de 15 personas más o menos, y lo que hicimos, nadie tenía noción de Salesforce. Lo que hicimos primero fue utilizar Trailhead y nos decían que teníamos que tener la certificación. Estábamos estudiando para la certificación. Eso fue en el 2019, eh, y realmente nos costó muchísimo trabajo porque no entendíamos muchas cosas de Salesforce. Hasta que nuestro jefe nos pidió que hiciéramos pequeños proyectos donde pudiéramos estar presentándonos juntas, y de esa manera fue como nosotros pudimos conocer más la herramienta e indagamos más en ella. Lo que yo hice, bueno, mi equipo y yo hicimos fue una automatización con MuleSoft, para una página web, para que los contactos que tuviera Salesforce se pudieran ver en una página web, pero lo que hacíamos era construir APIs desde Salesforce y MuleSoft. Entonces eso es lo que se estaba proyectando en la página. Fue un pequeño demo, pero ahí fue mi primer alcance con MuleSoft, y la verdad es una herramienta muy, muy potente y muy amigable. Salesforce también es un CRM bastante amigable y tiene la capacidad de muchísima información. A mí lo que me está llamando mucho la atención es que eh, resuelve, pero también sé que todavía le falta, por ejemplo, está estructurado con Java, entonces Apex está estructurado con Java. Tengo el perfil de developer, entonces sé que todavía se pueden hacer muchísimas cosas con Salesforce. Sé que está ahorita actualmente en desarrollo y puede llegar a crearse más cosas con Salesforce, pero bueno, pues es poco a poco. Y duré un año como student. Después de ser student, pasas a ser graduate. Para esto, igual te hacen una entrevista, ven todo lo que hiciste durante un año en IBM, qué es lo que aportaste con tu perfil, con tu equipo, qué es lo que estuviste haciendo. Y por último, bueno, actualmente me dieron el proyecto en PepsiCo. Ya no estoy como IBM Student, ahora soy full time. Es como, todo lleva un proceso en IBM. Soy graduate, pero es prácticamente full time. Me dieron el proyecto de PepsiCo. Como pueden ver de este lado, ese es mi equipo de Pepsi. Mi equipo se llama Flaming Force. Ese es mi equipo de IBM cuando era student. Lo que estoy haciendo ahora en Pepsi es en la parte de Release and Rollout. Me tocó la parte de entrenamiento. Tenemos un sandbox que se llama Training en Salesforce. Lo que hacemos es automatizar toda esta parte de los vendedores, que lleguen las ventas, que lleguen sus rutas. Cuando los vendedores van a las tiendas, tienen que ver qué es, cuántas visitas debe tener esa tienda, qué es lo que deben de dar el producto, si les dieron algún crédito a los vendedores. Entonces, toda esa parte es la que nosotros vemos del lado de mi equipo. También entramos un poquito a la parte de producción, pero eso ya sí, o sea, apoyo un poco, pero no lo tocamos tanto. Y pues ya, la verdad es que eh, ahora que ya estoy en el campo laboral, perdón, como tal, en un proyecto real, porque bueno, lo que hacía como estudiante eran proyectos que nosotros sacábamos. Ahora que ya estoy en un proyecto real, realmente me he dado cuenta de toda la magnitud que hace Salesforce y todo lo que se puede estar creando con esta herramienta. Y pues bueno, actualmente es lo que hago y eso sería todo.
Muchas gracias. ¿Preguntas? ¿Preguntas? ¿Questions?
Cassandra, disculpa, no sé qué es IBM.
IBM es una empresa, es una consultoría informática, pero lo que crea es tecnología. Tiene muchísimos años, pues en el campo. Eh, Tiene muchísimos clientes, como por ejemplo eh, Pepsi, FEMSA, tiene a Lancôme. Es una consultoría, podría ser de las tres más grandes consultorías que existen actualmente en el mundo.
Pero, o sea, ¿es una consultoría de desarrollo de software?
Sí, pero no solo desarrollo de software, hace tecnología, construye tecnología como inteligencia artificial, este, es, tiene todo lo que tiene que ver con informática y tecnología.
Bueno, me queda la duda de por qué, bueno, es como una pregunta personal, ¿no? Quizás. ¿Por qué crees que una compañía que desarrolla tecnología y pues tendría la capacidad de desarrollar herramientas que Salesforce ofrece, por qué crees que ellos seleccionaron Salesforce como su herramienta de trabajo para un CRM, ¿no? Para implementar un CRM?
Porque actualmente Salesforce tiene integradas muchísimas funciones. Lo que hizo IBM pues, fue ser partner. Salesforce tiene desde desarrollo hasta inteligencia artificial, entonces es una tecnología muy potente que actualmente ayuda a los clientes. Está basado en los clientes entonces y ventas, entonces ayuda muchísimo.
Ok, sí, lo que pasa es que actualmente mi compañía utiliza otro sistema para CRM, ¿no? Se llama Dynamics, algo así. Entonces estoy tratando de, pues, implementar ciertas funciones o tratar de exponer, ¿no? ¿Por qué utilizar Salesforce, no? Entonces, ¿tú qué me aconsejarías que contestara cuando me hicieran esa pregunta, no? O sea, nuestra compañía también tiene desarrolladores internos y y pues podían decirme, ¿para qué gastar comprando o pagando una licencia se puede, porque tenemos gente que lo haga aquí internamente, ¿no?
Sí, sí, claro. Pero lo que tiene Salesforce, yo diría que el plus que tiene es la compatibilidad, la amabilidad que tiene con el usuario y el proceso de automatización que tiene y los componentes que se le pueden ir agregando que pueden ayudar muchísimo a los procesos de la empresa.
Ok, gracias. No sé si alguien tiene otra pregunta.
Any other questions? Any other preguntas? Preguntas. I always get my gender part mixed up. Cassandra, muchas gracias. Thank you so much. I think David may have given you some insights, but we've got a class that has been going on since January. A lot of these folks are already getting Ranger status, and they're pretty new to the Salesforce world. So having insights and sharing knowledge of how other people have had their journey is really important. So muchas gracias.
Thanks, A-Team. Thank Hector.
De nada.
Thanks, Cassandra.
Thank you so much. You can stay on. Obviously, it's Saturday, and I hope you have a great weekend. I will share a few things before we get Barbara started here. Couple of updates on my side. I'm going to share how to get access to Focus on Force because I finally figured everything out. So for those of y'all who are not familiar with Focus on Force, this is a company that has done a really good job of putting together admin certification guides and practice test. We're probably at the middle of May, we're going to start to introduce you to the Salesforce certification exam. This is an important exam. It gets you certified, and it's not easy, but it is an important test you'll have to take eventually. And Focus on Force allows you to do some practice exams, which is unusual. So you get to kind of get a feel and an idea of what the tests look like. I'm going to be sending this out to Ismael, and he can post it on the Google Classroom, or maybe I can post it on the Google Classroom. I probably have access. But you have free access to some of the products that they offer. So all you're going to do is just go to Focus on Force catalog. You'll go to checkout. You'll enter a discount code right here, and it's right here, Colegio Regents. You'll apply the coupon, and then you get it for free. You can only do one thing at a time. So when I add this to cart, there is apply coupon. So I'm not going to type it in there, but if I typed it in there and I put apply coupon, it would go to $0. So you can only do one at a time. So you'll do the practice exams and the study material. I would probably do the study guide first, and then you can start to take some practice exams. Any questions? We'll post this on the Google Classroom. I'll be posting it, or maybe Ismael, during this class. And I would encourage you to start looking at this and talking to your mentor about it. Okay.
Excuse me, Hector. One at a time means like just one of us could enter, and if I am using the account, then other one can use it.
Everyone can use the same one. So you have your own. You just have to use the same code. So Joanna can log in or create her account and check out with this. Celeste can do the same. Yaz can do the same. So it's not one account that you all share. It's you each have your own account, but you have to make sure you enter this in the discount code to get it for free.
And he means one course or one exam
practice tests are timed. So you add your study guide to the cart and then you check out. And then
Yes.
you kind of buy it, but you're not buying it because it's going to be free because of the discount code.
Mhm.
And then you do the same all over again, but for the practice exams.
Yes, the discount code is just one item in the cart at a time. So Barbara said it right. You go and check out, buy this. It's free, but you have the code. And then once you have that, you do it again, but then you buy the actual exam. And I'll share with you which two to buy. These are all sorts of other ones that are more advanced that you probably are not ready for right now. I'll put the instructions in the Google Classroom. If you have any problems or questions, just shoot me a WhatsApp message. Maybe in English, I can understand it better. But my homework for you this week is just to log in, get both of these downloaded, and make sure you can get access to the material. Any other questions? Okay. So today, moving along here quite nicely, is the 24th. I can't believe we're already at the end of April. So we had Cassandra speak today. She's our guest speaker. We have our well-known mentor, rock star coach, Barbara, who's going to be talking about reports and dashboards. I know a lot of you have done some of the trails, but the important thing about the classroom is that you're going to start to get a lot more kind of examples, and she's going to go into detail. I've seen the presentation. So this is an important one that we're going to be doing today. And then I think, David, if I recall, or maybe Martine can answer, the coach is coming at 12, a little bit later, right? What was the time? 12:15 Central Time.
So we'll have like an hour break.
Okay. So what's going to happen is after Barbara is done, and obviously, Barbara, you can take the time you need, we'll take a break until 12:15 Central Time. And then Grisela from last week, she's going to come back again, and she's going to share some LinkedIn knowledge. I do want to share one thing on LinkedIn that was kind of fun. And Martine, I think, shared this earlier. For those of y'all who don't know, he shared this last week, proud of our Elevada group and 3 of the top 10 students hit Rangers. So we just kind of did a nice shout out and congratulations. And Barbara chimed in, and David. And I think he had mentioned Johanna. The reason why I'm calling this out is slowly but surely, each of you, even if you're not on this list, each of you are starting to build your brand and your identity and who you are. And you can see there's already a lot of people that may not even know you that are kind of celebrating you and cheering you on. So for everybody that if you're on this list or maybe you're a little bit behind, it doesn't matter. You have a lot of people that are rooting for you. And we're very proud of you and continue to do what you're doing. The last thing I will say before I pass it to Barbara is the contest we had, which was the top 3, would get some prizes because we had 3 Rangers. This isn't even updated, and probably Johanna may be a Ranger already. I made the decision that I'm going to pay each of these top 4 $100. So I'm actually sending Roberto some Venmo money today. Roberto also has all of this swag. So he has the hoodies, he has the shirts and the stickers. So he'll be taking care of that kind of stuff too. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that. We haven't forgotten. I just haven't used Venmo in a while, so I had to set up my account again. Okay, so any questions on Focus on Force? Any questions on LinkedIn? Any questions on the schedule for today? Okay. Well, that's what I have today. I'm going to stay on for another half hour. It's my wife's birthday coming up and I've got to go take care of husband duties. So I will be on the call as long as I can. But I just want to tell each of you people that are still in the class, I personally am so proud of you, and we're so excited that you have continued this journey. This is not easy stuff. And the fact that you have these super badges, these ranger status, there's a big amount of we're very happy for you. You're doing a really good job. Golf clap. With that being said, I will pass it off to Barbara.
I'm gonna start sharing. I never know which screen I'm sharing, so you're supposed to be seeing the presentation.
We see your Facebook page with all your comment. No, I'm kidding. We see your presentation.
It's been so long since I go into Facebook, so that would be a shock.
Yeah, no, we can see it. You're good.
Okay. So reports and dashboards. Maybe you already went through the trailheads for this topic, so it's going to be like a quick just overview, and this is my first time teaching, so I'm sorry if I'm not very good at it.
You can do it in Spanish if it's better for you too, as well.
I think it's a good exercise for me and for them. So
okay, I'll be quiet.
A little bit about me. You know me, I'm super nosy, so I'm in your classes pretty much every Saturday. So that's me. I'm certified. As of now, I have 6 certifications. I'm hoping to start studying for sharing and visibility, which seems very difficult, but we'll see. I am a director at MQS. That is our company. My husband has a company, and we have a partner in Spain. And we do testing. That's like our major thing. And we also do Salesforce consulting. I've been a project manager for a long time. I was amazed that I'm almost 20 years. I've been almost 20 years in this industry. So that is quite a long time. I'm a developer wannabe, so I took some classes and I'm hoping I can do that. I started working with Salesforce in 2017. I'm from Mexico and I miss the food so much. I used to be a cheerleader. Yeah, can you imagine? That's my family, and I love Disney and everything that has to do with Disney. I went to Dreamforce, and Astro is my favorite of all the mascots. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. I don't know if he's a he or a she or it, but I like Astro.
I don't know what their pronoun is.
But I like him. I run a book club in Montevideo. We've been around for 7 years. I love to read. I haven't had a lot of time recently, but now it's virtual, so it's amazing because I don't have to go anywhere. I run the Women in Tech group in Montevideo as well with the Salesforce Trailblazer communities, and we do meetings every month. We love to share knowledge, so it is really good. It's a really good experience. And this is my favorite quote ever. Si quieres que el mundo cambie, tiene que empezar por ti. And I realized when I was searching for this to be translated to English, I realized that somebody much, much wiser than me said it first. So I think this is a very good thing to live by. So these are my social accounts. You can find me. If you really want to know what I've been doing for the past 20 years, that's a long time, you can go to my LinkedIn and find all the details there. Anyway.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt. Are we able to see videos on YouTube of you doing cheerleading and stuff like that?
You are. Oh my God, that is so embarrassing. But yeah. So we went to the cheerleading Worlds in 2017.
Yeah.
I was with a team called Leones,
Uh-huh.
and we used to cheer for el Tec de Monterrey, Campus Ciudad de México. That's a university.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, they were really good at, and they were like super fans of cheerleading. And so I joined them because I used to practice gymnastics. So I practiced gymnastics for, I don't know, since I was 4 until 16. And then I wanted to do them again. And a friend told me, hey, I'm a cheerleader. Do you want to join? And I was like, that sucks. That's awful. Cheerleaders are awful and they are brainless. And they are not. So don't judge people. Don't judge people because of what they do or how they look like. And I joined and I loved it. And we went to the cheerleading world. So I can share the link later on. You'll find
Yeah,
me. It's easy to spot me because I've always been hurt in one of my knees, so I have like a bandage or something.
I was
So
actually
you'll know.
kidding. I didn't know that there was a video out there, but
Yeah, there is.
well,
I don't know
good.
if that's unfortunate or not. Anyway,
all right, I'll be quiet. Thank you for sharing.
so backgrounds of all types. You don't really know what's behind a person until you start talking to them, right? So what are reports, report types and report formats? More and custom report types, those are amazing. And then we will go into dashboards and we will do, I was hoping to do a hands-on, and I don't know, Hector, if they're gonna do this session later on about building reports. But we will get to
Yes,
that, I guess.
we were trying to get some help in helping us build this out, but we haven't been able to get the help for this week in time.
Okay.
To have like the Salesforce org set up and to build some, but this is one that we're definitely going to do a deep dive in.
Yeah. So what are reports? And I think they're very important for businesses. They are just a list of records that meet the criteria. So for me, basically, it's the data that I need to see how I want to see it. So what I need to see to run my business, what I need to see to improve and to make decisions. That's what a report is to me. So where do you find them? In Salesforce, you go to in an app. You usually have a tab. If you don't see it, you can just click on the app launcher and you just search for report and it's going to be there. Once you log in, this is what you see. If you haven't seen any report, by default, it goes to the recent reports you've seen. If you haven't seen anything or you don't see anything here, that's okay. You can click on all reports and then you will see all the reports there. If you don't have any reports, then you can create one. So what are report types and report formats? A report type is like a template. So I like to think on a report type as what information I want to see in the report. So I want to see accounts, I want to see clients, I want to see opportunities, I need to see tasks and accounts they are associated to. So the report type tells you what information is going to be available to your report. And you have standard report types and custom report types. So standard comes with Salesforce, and custom report types, you build them. Report formats specify how you're going to see the results of that information that you want to see. And you have 4 types: tabular, summary, matrix, and joint reports. And we're going to see each one of them. Any questions so far? Okay. So standard report types and custom report types. The standard ones are predefined by Salesforce. You cannot edit them and you cannot decide what you see in them. And they are usually standard reports for standard objects. And I believe, and then we can do a test, but if you add a new custom object and you choose that they are available for reporting, a standard report type is going to be created for you. So for example, if you want to create a report on accounts or contacts, you have contacts and accounts, you have opportunities, you have activities with contacts. Those are tasks that are associated with contacts. You have leads and so on. Custom report types on the other side, they are created by you if you need a specific need, or if you have a custom, like a different type of report that you need to see. So you can define up to 4 objects that you want to report on, and then you define how they are related. So, and we will see this in a minute in more detail. But you choose your master object, so to speak, and then you choose the related objects that you want to add to that custom report type. So what do you define in a custom report type? The objects. And like I said, first you would define the master object that you want. So for example, I want to see accounts, but I want to see tasks as well. But I want to see not only accounts that have tasks, but I also want to see accounts that do not have tasks, because maybe I want to report on how frequently I am contacting my clients. So that is object relationships, how the 2 objects you're selecting overlap. And you're going to choose maybe accounts and I don't know, a custom report, a custom object that is not related at all with accounts. You will have a list, and we will create one in a minute, but you will have a list that you can choose from to start building these overlaps. Then you choose the fields that are going to be included in the results. So I have my object, I have my related object. So maybe I want all accounts that have tasks and that do not have tasks as well. So I'm doing the orange part, right? Because I'm not reporting on tasks. And then I'm going to choose what fields I want in that report, because maybe that report is for a particular role or function in the company, and they don't really need to see all fields when they are creating reports. So maybe I don't want them to see a few fields in account and a few fields in tasks. So I can choose and pick what fields are going to be available when they create reports. Then you can check what fields are going to be available by default when you create the report. So if you already built some reports as part of the trailheads, when you click new report and then you choose your report type, some fields are added by default, and then I usually remove them all and start from scratch. But you can do that if somebody wants to create a report, let's say on activities and accounts. You can by default choose the account name and the subject of the task and the due date of the task. So that way, when they create the report, those fields are going to be there always, kind of like pre-selected for them. And then you can change the names that appear on the report. And this I learned recently. I didn't know you can do that. So you double click on when you're selecting your fields for the report, not when creating the report, but when creating the custom report type. And then you can change kind of like the column name. So that's what the user will see when creating reports. Any questions so far?
Oh, perdón, disculpa. De eso, que puedes cambiar el nombre de la columna, ¿eso lo haces
Sí.
en el reporte del lado derecho? ¿O dónde se hace, perdón?
Cuando creas el report type.
Uh-huh.
So why don't we go and create a report type now? So I have my pretty, let me know if you can see it properly or if I need to zoom in. So let's create a report type. We go to setup. And on the quick find, I don't usually scroll all the way and search for things. I just type here, report. So you're going to see here report types. This is where you create your custom report types. So kind of like the layouts or the template that will be available for users. And you can see some instructions there. So I have one already, accounts with or without activities, but let's create one. Maybe I want to see accounts that have opportunities, but also accounts that do not have opportunities. So I click new, and I'm going to choose my primary object. So if I'm creating accounts with or without opportunities, what do you think my primary object would be?
Account.
Yes, perfect. So then we add a name, and all the fields are required here for some reason. So I'm going to name these accounts with or without.
Podría ser un poco, bueno, no sé cómo lo ven los demás que estoy en el celular, pero no sé si podía hacerse un poco más grande la pantalla.
Sí. Ahí está mejor. Después capaz que no puedo ver nada, pero los botones a veces se esconden.
Sí, está bien.
Pregúntale a Wendy. Okay, I'm gonna choose the category for this. I'm gonna save this in accounts and contacts. And these options down here will either allow the user to see it or not. So if it is in development, only system administrators can see them. If it is deployed, everybody in the org can see them. I usually just create them deployed because then I forget that they are in development and the user is like, I cannot see the report that you said it was there. So this is my primary object. This is where I'm going to choose the second object or the relationship, right? And you're going to see how this drawing is changing based on how I select objects. And you have two options. Each record must have at least one or may not have. So I'm going to choose, this is the list that I was saying. So these are related to accounts. So I cannot choose leads, for example, because leads are not, well, maybe they are, but they're not in the list. So I'm going to choose opportunities. And you can see the gray area is what the users will be able to report on. This means every account needs to have at least one opportunity to show up in the report. If I choose the second option, then the gray area is like bigger because I'm going to be able to report on all accounts and their associated opportunities if they have, right? So any questions? I would be able to add maybe a third object. What if I wanted tasks that are associated to the opportunities that I report on? And you see how there are intersections here between the different objects. So let's create this one. I click save, and then you have your objects here. And if you scroll down, you can see the layout. The layout determines the fields. So this is where you can edit or change the fields. By default, when you're creating a report type, it adds all the fields of the object. If I change the report now and I added a new object, or if I removed one and added another one, maybe the fields I need to add them again. But the first time that you're creating the report type, they will be added for you. So here's where I can choose the fields. So maybe for this report, I don't really need this field because I don't even know what that is. So I'm just gonna remove it. And this is a tricky piece because for some reason, until you see the black like surrounding line here, you're not able to change it. You see how the black thing is not there? Now it is. Now it's not, now it is. So if it's not there, you cannot add or remove them. And you see I have all my fields for opportunities, and then I have all my fields for activities. So maybe I want to change this column. And instead of date, I want to name it due date. So I'm going to double click on it, and the window, of course, appeared in a different screen. And here is where I can change the column name. So I'm going to put due date here, and I'm going to check by default, this is going to be added to the report. So anything that has a check mark by default is going to be added to the report when the user creates the report. Any questions, comments? Don't forget to save.
Quiero hacer una pregunta tonta, pero el que le cambie el nombre y no quiere decir que el field del objeto vaya a cambiar el nombre, ¿verdad? Nada más para el reporte.
Exacto, exacto.
Okay.
Solo para este reporte, además. Si yo creo acá, por ejemplo, ¿no? Vamos a crear un reporte solo de activities, porque fue lo que cambiamos, ¿no? Dice que acá el nombre sigue siendo date. Pero si yo creo un reporte con el nuevo report type que creamos, que no me acuerdo dónde lo guardé, así que acá, ¿no? Acá dice due date. Y es el mismo campo. Yeah, that is a very good comment. So let's say that in my report, I want to add maybe contact information. So I can edit the layout, and Martin is sharing a great tip that is amazing. You can add fields via lookup. So what that means is, for example, I know that in opportunities, I have a lookup to contact. And let's say that I want to get the email of the contact if there is a contact associated to the opportunity. So I would be able to add contact fields without having to add the object contact to the report type. So I'm gonna add fields related via lookup. So I have my object opportunity, and here's where having a big screen is. So I want the email of the contact. These are the lookup fields, and if you remember from your maybe previous classes, when you're creating relationships between objects, you create a lookup. Relationship is one of the options. So I'm gonna choose contact, and then you can choose a field from the contact object without having to add the contact object to the report type. And any field that is added via lookup will have a little magnifier glass here, whatever the name. And that way you know this field is not really in opportunities, but it is somehow associated. So that is a great tip, yeah. Any questions? Okay. I think this is going to be a short class. So report formats. What are report formats? This is how you make the report available to the user, or how the user can create the reports to see the results, right? So you have tabular. Tabular means you just add the fields and it's just like a table and you're not grouping by anything. You can sort, but you're not grouping. Then you have summary. The summary allows you to group by one or more fields. I think you can group up to 4. And you're grouping by rows. So you can see the grouping is here and the rows are the ones that are grouped. Then you have matrix, where you group by rows and by columns. And since you can add only 4 groupings, you can do 3 on one and 1, 3 on the rows and 1 in the column, or 2 and 2, and so on and so forth. It's this one. And then you have joined. The joined reports for me are very confusing sometimes. If you if I can be honest. But they allow you to create reports, like more than one report, and present them together. And they can be grouped by like generic fields that are in both report types. So you can add maybe a report on accounts and tasks and a report on accounts and opportunities. And then accounts is going to be the common, those are going to be the common fields. And then you can group by that, and you will have your information together of how many activities you have for one account and how many opportunities you have for that particular account. And we can create one for better understanding. So I'm sure you already created a report, and the report builder is what allows you to create reports. So first you select your report type, click new, and select the report type you want. Remember, report type will define what information or what objects and fields are going to be available in the report. And for me, I like to think, what do I want to see in the report? So what information? Then you choose your fields. In the outline tab, you search for the fields you want in your report, or you can expand. There is a section that you can expand, and then you can search there as well. Now, I think in the previous release or the one before, you're able to click and like control click different fields, and then you can drag them, and that makes it easier instead of having to add one by one. So you can order the fields the way you want to see them when you're running the report. Then you use filters. Filters are a great way to establish your criteria. So you think of filters as the criteria that a record needs to meet to be in the report. So I want accounts that are just in one particular region, for example. So you're going to add a filter on region in the account object. Or I want opportunities with one particular amount. So you're going to add a filter on amount on the opportunity object. And then you use filter logic. Filter logic is great because maybe I want to see cases. Cases, we don't really work a lot with cases, but what if I want to see cases that are owned by me and that are new or in progress? Because the ones that I already solved, I don't really care. I just want to focus on the new and the in progress ones, so the open cases. So I would do case owner equals me. So because I want to see my cases, the ones that I need to work on. And where the status is new or the status is in progress. So this in orange is what the filter logic is. And we're going to see that in a report in a moment. So this allows you to, I've seen very complicated filter logics in some reports that we have to create for some customers because they want to see accounts that are owned by this or by this other person, but that have this particular custom type, but also if they were created last month or this month. And so the logic here helps a lot to show the client what they really want to see in the report. And then you have the cross-object filters. These are amazing. So this is like the next level on filters. And these allow you to filter on other objects that are related to the object in your report. So for example, I have a report on accounts, but I only want to see accounts that have tasks. But my report does not include task information because I don't really want the task information. I just want to see accounts that have tasks, but I don't want to see the task information at all. So I do a cross-object filter, and I do accounts with activities. And I'm going to show you that those filters are amazing. So that's it on reports. Let's create a few. So I chose my report type, the one that we just created. And this is the outline tab. This is where you select your fields. So I have, this is the pane that I was saying that you can expand. And you can search for filters here. There's another quick, great tip here. This little arrow that is so tiny that I think I need a glasses with better. But this allows you to just choose type of fields. So what if I'm searching for a number field and I don't really remember the name? I can just click here and then to just see all the fields that are numeric. So I'm gonna add my amount here. And then what I was telling you, I'm gonna hit the control key on my keyboard and I'm gonna choose probability and quantity. Well, I don't really need quantity. Expected revenue maybe. So now I just drag them over. And this is a great way to add fields to your report. I'm gonna choose all again. And I'm gonna search for close date. So I'm gonna type date here and I'm gonna see all the fields that have the date name. So I'm gonna choose the close date. I'm gonna go now to, so this is a tabular report, right? We are not grouping by anything. So let's create a summary report. So I'm gonna group by the close date of the opportunity. So I'm just dragging these to the top. The other option you have is you just type here the name of the field that you want to group by. You're gonna see it disappears from the bottom. It goes to the top as a grouping. And now you have it here. Dates are amazing when it comes to grouping. You click on the arrow here, and I wish maybe there's another way to do this. I don't know, somebody that is better than me at reports can tell me. But if you click on this little arrow, you can group by different options. I don't know if you can do that elsewhere, like in a different.
That's the way I've always done it.
Yeah, me too. I wish you could click here and you had the option there.
No, and it's the same way on Classic. You first have to group by, and then you have to sort it by the different options.
But right here at the top in the column name, on the preview pane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, for example, now that I have a grouping, I can go down to my numeric fields and I can click on them. And I'm going to see different options where I can summarize. So what if I want, so by default, I have the sum of the amount, but I want to know what is the highest. So I'm going to click here. And once I apply that, you're going to see that now in the totals, I have two values. What is the highest value and what is the total sum of the field? So that is amazing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my filters. We went through filters before. For some reason, Salesforce always shows you your information, I guess, because usually that's what you want to see. So I'm going to go to the filters and show me. I'm going to select all accounts because I want to see all the information. And then the creation date, I'm going to change it. So I always choose all time. That way I make sure that I'm having all the information available for me, and then I can add filters. So you have all your data here. Now you can add additional filters. So what if I just want to see opportunities of this year? So I'm going to choose close date because I want to see just those opportunities that are closing this year. I'm going to choose close date equals. So this is where you choose your criteria. I want to see opportunities, and dates are amazing. Again, you can select a particular date, like a specific date, or you can select relative dates. Relative dates are like dates in words, right? So we know that we want opportunities closing this year, and that's what I know. So that's what I'm going to type. There's a list of all the relative dates that you can use in Salesforce. I didn't thought of sharing that, but I'm going to find it. I'll share it with you. So I'm going to hit apply. And this section here is called the preview pane. And just make sure that you don't think these are your results and this is what the user is going to see, because this is just a preview. You need to run the report to actually see the report and see how everything is working. I took a class we had somebody sharing an advanced reporting session in the Women in Tech group, and he was saying, don't make any decisions based on what you see here, because this is not the actual information that you will see in the report. So then I'm gonna do another filter so we can do some, maybe I want to see opportunities that closed December last year as well. So I'm going to choose close date again, and that way we will be adding what do I do? Let's make it a little hard. So I'm going to choose December 1st last year, and then everything is going to disappear. Like I don't have any more opportunity information, you see? And then I'm going to do close date. Less or equal to, I need to change the other one. December 31st. This one we're going to make because we don't really want opportunities closing on December 1st. We want opportunities closing December 1st or afterwards. So now I don't have any opportunity information, and here's where filter logic comes in. So you click on this little arrow here and you choose filter logic. And this is what you see. So my criteria right now is the records need to meet all three conditions, but I don't really need that. So it needs to be close date equals this year, or, and you can use parentheses here, 2 and 3. So this is going to create a criteria that will say the close date needs to be this year, or needs to be greater than December 1st and less or equal than December 31st. Hopefully this will work. It works in my mind. And there you go. So now I have opportunities closing in December 2020, but also opportunities closing this year. So that is kind of how filters work. And then we have cross filters. Remember, cross filters are a great way to filter by other objects. So now maybe we want to see accounts that have contacts. I don't know, maybe all of them have, but so you tell the report, show me, and you can choose any of the objects that are available in your report. For now, we're going to choose accounts, and you have the option to do with or without. So let's say with, because I want accounts with contacts. And then you choose the secondary object. Remember, contacts is not part of our report. So maybe I could do accounts with cases if I wanted to see accounts that have already reported an issue with us. And I want to see what we are selling to them. I have contacts here, and then you hit apply. So maybe all of them have contacts, but this is how cross filters work. And then you can add additional filters to the contacts. So it can become really complicated, really complex, and granular, I would say, on what information you want to show in your report. Let's leave it like that for now, and let's save and run. So I'm going to give a name. You can choose a folder. By default, it goes to your private reports. That way, nobody's messing up with your reports. But if you want to make them available, you can create folders and share the folders with your team, for example. So I'm going to choose the sales reports. This is a folder I created. And now we have our beautiful report with the report type we created. We have opportunities closing in December, and we have opportunities closing this year. You have the total amount because we said in the report that we wanted the amount to show us the sum, but we also wanted to see what was the highest number, that is the max value. So we know in all a report, this is the opportunity that is highest. So that's kind of how reports work. Any questions? Okay. So dashboards, what are dashboards? For me, dashboards are just like a visual representation of your reports. So you create charts and show the information in a prettier way, I would say, easier to understand. And then you can add a lot of components and show all your information like at a glance. You can see a lot of data together. So how do you build dashboards? So you create your source reports first, because otherwise, where are you getting the information from, right? Then from dashboards, you click New Dashboard. So source reports, these are driving the information that you will represent in a graph, in a chart. Then you click New Dashboard, name the dashboard, add a description if you want to. You can save it in a folder or save it in your private folder. Then you click Add Component. Select the report, and then you customize the component. You add it to your kind of like canvas. I don't know what's the name for it. And then you start changing the size and where you want them. And you can add filters. Filters are a great way to allow the users to change what they are seeing. So let's say that we have, and I have a dashboard built that will show you this, but if I want to see all opportunities of all time, but then maybe I just want to see opportunities for accounts that are in a certain region. So I can add a filter and the user would be able to choose that filter from the dashboard. Then you specify who sees the dashboard, and you can customize it because I love colors. So I usually customize the theme and the color palette. So what are dynamic dashboards? Maybe you will run into the situation where you want a dashboard to be seen by a group of people, and the group of people can see that information, or maybe you have a dashboard that you want to share with the entire company, but everybody should sort of see just what they can see. So that's where dynamic dashboards come into play. So they are used to display information tailored to a specific user. So you have this option on View Dashboard As, and you can choose You. So that everybody that will log in and that will see that dashboard will see the information that I can see. So maybe there's sensitive data that you don't want any other person to see. You have another person, so you can choose the user that will be the running user. That's what this is called, the running user of that dashboard, or you can choose the dashboard viewer. So this allows the dashboard to pick up information that only that user can see. So for example, I am the system admin, so I can see deals for Easter and Halloween and Christmas. But Santa doesn't really care about Easter deals, right? He just cares about Christmas. Well, that's what we think. So we don't want him to see the Easter Bunny deals. So he's just going to be able to see Christmas deals. So we choose the dashboard viewer, and we just create one dashboard, and that can be used for all of them. And Santa will always see Christmas information, and the Easter Bunny will always see Easter deals.
Johanna, do you have a question?
Yep. Los filtros que se pueden agregar en el slide anterior al dashboard, me preguntaba si también se podía hacer en los reportes. No lo he intentado, pero no sé si se puede agregar también a los reportes. Ya ve que cuando estás corriendo el dashboard, pues los filtros te aparecen en la parte de arriba, ¿no? Que le pones al...
Sí.
No sé si
En
eso
los
se puede hacer
reportes,
también.
el usuario puede hacer clic acá y si tienen permiso sobre el reporte para cambiarlo o si el filtro no lo determinaste como fijo o locked, lo pueden cambiar aquí, me
Sí, sí,
parece.
sí, sí.
Si yo el
Sí, yo me
filtro lo
acuerdo de esa
cambio,
opción.
y le pongo, por ejemplo, ¿no? Locked. Cuando un usuario cualquiera, que ahora puedo entrar como algún otro usuario, y lo probamos. Aquí tiene el candadito, ¿ves? Entonces, cuando tiene el candadito, yo no puedo cambiar nada, porque como que les prohibiste que ese filtro no lo muevan.
Ok, ok. Ok, muy gracias.
Okay. Huh. So I think that's it. My next slide was going to be, let's do this. So this is my pretty dashboard, the happiness spreader, because we all love gifts and we all love holidays. That's what I think.
I like holidays.
So this is a store that sells gifts and candies and toys. So I've created all these components based on the reports that I already had. So let's go to check the reports first and see. I don't have a lot of reports here. So I actually just used these two reports, amazing, right? To create the dashboard. So opportunities by stage and related holiday. I have a custom field in the opportunity object called related holiday because I wanted to see when I'm selling my gifts for what holiday is like the big thing. So I have my report. Let's go to edit and see the fields and the filters. And so I have this report with three groupings. I have them grouped by stage and by holiday and by type. So in my type field, I added some custom values. So I have candy, I have decorations, and I have toys. That seems like nobody sells toys on Halloween. And then these are the filters that I used. I just summarize. And then we have only one filter because I just want to see deals for this year, right? It's not a very complicated report.
¿Podría agregar algo?
Sí.
También puedes agregar charts.
Sí. Very true. So I can add a chart here. That is true. I usually don't do that, but you can. So you click on this little pie thing, and then you can add a chart. And then you have a gear icon here, and you can customize the chart that will accompany the report. So let's create a donut chart. And then you can define the value this chart will take and how you want this sliced. So we can choose related holiday. And this is based on your groupings. So I cannot create these by account name because I don't have that grouping, right? But I can do related holiday or stage or type, for example. You can combine small groups. So let's say if you have like 100 values and then you have the first 10 have a lot of information, but then you start having like one record in the next or two records in the next one. So you can combine all the small groups into others if you don't want them represented and make your pie chart like super small, the slices, or you can just remove that. You can show the total or not. You can show the values. You can show the percentage if you need it. And you can change where the legend is. So it can be in the right or you can be in the bottom. I can save and run, and then you can see how this looks. So now I have a chart in my report. And people really like this.
Yeah, I was actually going to say there's a lot of people in the business who use you know, reports and dashboards, and sometimes they want to look at data in different ways. So, you know, when Barbara's building this out, you may be asking, why are we doing it this way, or why? Like, there's so many different ways to do it, to look at the data, and the data will inform people on how to make decisions, how the business is doing, how people are doing. And so while this looks like, you know, like a lot of numbers and a lot of, you know, different things we have to set up, there is an entire team of people at many companies called either sales operations or just general IT ops, where they look at this data to be able to make decisions on how to run their business.
Yeah, for sure. And so going back to the dashboard. So sometimes this happens. Don't freak out. It's not like the data is gone. So just refresh the data and then it'll all come back. These are the filters that we were talking about in the dashboard information. So let's edit the dashboard and you can see how this looks like. Maybe you already created a dashboard. So you click plus component and you can choose, these are the reports that you have available. You will usually see your recent reports. So if you created one report and now you're adding it to the dashboard, I'm guessing you will see it at the top. But if you don't find what you're looking for, you can just search for the report here. Or you can go to all reports and you can go to the folders and search in the folders what reports you have there to add them. So don't panic if you don't see it right at the top. By default, will show you your recent reports because usually you create the reports and then you go build your dashboard. So they're going to be there. So let's add this one. And well, you know what? Let's choose the one that we just created. Accounts with or without opportunities. And here you have a little more options than those you have when you're just adding a chart to the report. So you have a lot of options here on the donuts and this lightning table. I think, yeah, is great if you want to see a snapshot of maybe your top 5 clients or your top 5 or your top, not top, bottom 5 users that are not using Salesforce. Or so this is a great way to show information in a table. Let's do this. Let's see how many opportunities we have. By close date, you can choose what you see at the bottom. And this is all based on your report. So make sure that your report has what you need. It has the groupings because the groupings determine what you're showing in your charts. If you have a tabular report that is not grouped by anything, you may not be able to create a component for that report because you don't have it grouped by anything. So what are you trying to show to the user or to the client, right? And you can add additional information here. So let's see the record count, for example. So I want to see, and the amount and the record count are different types of data. So it's hard to see them in the same axis. So I'm going to plot as a line chart and in a second axis. And then you can create these types of components where you're going to see how much money you're making or how much money you have for each month and how many opportunities are associated to that. So that is a great way to show data for users. So let's just add this the way it is. I already had one similar. and it's going to be at the bottom. So you can resize. You can add some filters here. You can update information if you wanted. You can choose different settings for your report. Don't forget to save. The times that I've created a dashboard, I didn't save. I clicked done, and then I lost everything. It's awful. So don't forget to save. Filters are added here. I already have some filters, and that's why this plus filter is disabled. But you will click here, and then you would be able to add filters based on the information that you have in your reports. So this is an opportunities report, dashboard, kind of, because I'm all about sales. So you can determine the field that you're adding as a filter. So let's recreate this happiness type 1. So I'm going to add a filter. You can add up to 3. And what it is that I'm trying to see. So I'm trying to see the holiday type. So I'm going to search for that field, related holiday on opportunities, and how I want this filter to show up. What's the name that I want to see? So I had this as happiness type. And then you add the values. So how do you want this filter to display the options for the user, right? So the filter is a pick list value. So that means that I already have some values defined in my pick list, and we can go very quickly to the object. I search for opportunities. I close this window. I check the field just to make sure what values I have available. So I always use the quick finds because they are amazing. So I type just 3 letters. I get the field that I'm looking for. The related holiday is what I'm adding as a filter. And I scroll down to see the values that are available. So I can see that I have none, Easter, Halloween, Christmas. So I go back to my dashboard, and I'm going to say that for the first one, I want Easter. So this is going to be displayed at Easter holiday. So just we have a different value there. Then I'm going to do Halloween. You can change the name, of course. Then I'm going to do Christmas. Then I'm going to do maybe scary. Oh, this is going to be Halloween. And the name is going to be Scary Holidays. And we can remove this one because it's the same. And then I'm going to do Sweet Holidays, just because I like Christmas better. And, oh, do you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to search for a value that doesn't exist. Huh. So I now remember, first I need to choose the values that I'm adding to the filter. So I'm going to choose Easter and Christmas. And you can leave this like this, or you can add a different. So I'm going to do Sweet Holidays. I apply. So these are the values that the user will see in the filter, right? So let's save and let's run the dashboard and see what happens. So now I have my values here, and the ones that we created are the ones that will show up here. So for now, I can see all the information in the reports, but let's choose Scary Holidays. So now you can see that the dashboard is different. The data is less. I can only see Halloween sales. All the dashboard information is changed and updated based on the filter. So let's choose now Sweet Holidays. Now I have Christmas and Easter information. I could do Christmas just only, or Easter only. So these filters allow the user to see a lot of information in different ways and just kind of like see what they want to see. So you're giving them options, and this is great. And you can do 3 filters, and they can just select as many information as they want. So I want Sweet Holidays, but I just want to see those that are already closed won. So now they can focus on, oh, these are my top 5 deals, and this is how much money I made already in Easter. And nothing has been closed for Christmas, for example. So these are great ways to show valuable information to the user so they can make decisions. Questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, just lady.
Okay, I want to know what's the difference between Tableau CRM and dashboards and reports, because I've been doing some modules about Tableau CRM and both of them made reports and dashboards. So what's the difference about them?
I am not super knowledgeable on Tableau. Tableau is more powerful. So
I can answer that.
Please.
Yeah. So Tableau is a company that was founded here in Seattle about 10 years ago, and they specialize in visualization and kind of reports and dashboards at a very, very like technical and visual way that's superior than anything in Salesforce. Like it's just a better way of looking at data. And it doesn't have to be Salesforce data. It can be any data you can put into Tableau, whether it's a different system or you can load data in a spreadsheet. And in, I think it was 2018, maybe 19, maybe it was 2019, Salesforce bought Tableau, which is a big company. It's their biggest acquisition. And so right now, Salesforce is trying to rebrand some of their products. So when you hear Tableau CRM, it's basically the Tableau product that's now starting to be a part of Salesforce, like within Salesforce. They're still kind of separate companies and their products are sold differently. But if I'm a business and I just need basic reporting, basic dashboards like what Barbara showed us today, Salesforce reports and dashboards is good. If I need to run very complex models and a lot of what we call hypotheticals and algorithms and kind of what if I do this, how will the data, like if I change one data, how will it look in the future? Tableau allows you to do a lot more of that kind of stuff, and the visualization is superior. So Tableau right now is just another product within the Salesforce catalog. And they're still trying to figure out how it's all going to work together. But they're kind of the same thing, but Tableau is actually, they've got a lot more money invested in it, and it's a better tool. Good question, though. Very good.
Joana?
Iba a preguntar que ya ve que el dashboard tiene para agregar los componentes, ¿no? Y tiene un margen definido de la cantidad de, no que sí la cantidad de componentes, pero tiene un layout, ¿no? Ya definido. ¿Ese layout se puede hacer más grandecito o así, o ya está, o tengo que hacer más reportes, más dashboards para poder meter más gráficas?
Sí, ya está. Tienes 2 tamaños. Es lo que le llaman grid size. Son 12 columnas o 9 columnas. Y esto es lo que te permite hacer grandes o pequeñas
Perdón, es que no vi. Es que...
Grid size.
Sí, pero ¿dónde abrió la ventana?
Acá. Viste que cuando le das editar, vamos de vuelta. Estás en el dashboard, le das editar y tienes como una tuerquita. Ahí editas las propiedades del dashboard. En donde le puedes cambiar el nombre, agregar la descripción, si lo quieres cambiar de folder. Aquí es en donde determinamos quién es el running user. Entonces, el dashboard lo pueden ver como yo o como otra persona. Por ejemplo, yo podría elegir al Easter Bunny o a Santa Claus, por ejemplo. O como el dashboard viewer. El dashboard viewer es el dynamic dashboard. Y abajo de eso tienes el grid size. que esto es lo que determina cuántas columnas tienes disponibles en el dashboard para agrandar o achicar los componentes. Te recomiendan 12 porque te permite poner, no necesariamente poner más cosas, pero como personalizar mejor o configurar mejor los componentes, ¿no? Porque acá tengo como poquitos, pero a lo mejor podrías tener componentes un poco más pequeños que sean solo de números y entonces puedes poner, yo qué sé, hasta 6 a lo mejor, ¿no? Para mostrar valores. Pero más de eso no se puede, solo tienes esas dos opciones.
Sí, y quería preguntar, ya ve que nos estaba enseñando de los dashboards dinámicos.
Sí.
¿Qué se le permite ver a cada quien? Eso, es decir, que porque hemos visto que se pueden crear folders y compartirlos con grupos y todo eso, pero cuando creas el dashboard, le llamamos dinámico, es decir, ¿cómo preguntarlo? Podemos asignar que ciertas personas puedan ver ciertos récords, ¿no?
Claro, la seguridad.
Exacto. Cuando creas el dashboard, los datos se van a limitar lo que ellos pueden ver se van a limitar a los permisos que tienen para los récords también, ¿no?
Exacto.
Pero aquí, es decir, no sé cómo o en qué parte de esto, digamos que si todos tuviéramos acceso a todos los datos, a los récords más bien, cómo se asigna, qué cosa puede ver cada quien o lo que puede cada quien se basa en los permisos que cada quien tiene en los récords. No sé si me explico con la pregunta.
Si quieres ver un ejemplo, por ejemplo, te serviría y capaz que de ayuda.
Sí, por favor.
Déjame, estoy entrando.
Por ejemplo, ahí usted ya tiene dividido oye, ya está dividido qué puede ver cada quien en este reporte que tiene ahí.
Me parece que sí. Déjame ver.
¿Y eso está definido a los permisos que cada quien tiene en los récords? ¿O está definido en algo que le agregó?
Por ejemplo, ¿no? Yo hice que el opportunity sea private. Y esto, un poco hablando acá es en donde empiezan a ver cómo todas las piezas se juntan y cómo necesitas haber tenido em, como, cómo son bloques que construyen, ¿no? Entonces, necesitamos saber de seguridad para poder entender un poco para qué sirven los dashboards dinámicos, ¿no? Entonces, si todos pueden ver toda la información, como que no tiene mucho sentido. Pero yo el opportunity lo hice private, ¿no? Y si recuerdan, cuando se habló de sharing y de security, cuando un objeto, estos son los org-wide defaults, ¿no? Private significa que solo el owner del registro puede ver el registro, ¿no? Además, yo creé sharing rules de compartir los datos. Estamos hablando de datos, ¿no? Dependiendo del criterio que yo defina. En este caso, yo creé public groups, uno para cada holiday, por ejemplo, y sharing rules en donde comparto todas las opportunities en donde el related holiday sea Christmas, lo voy a compartir con este grupo. Entonces, aquellos que estén en este grupo solo van a poder ver la información de Christmas, no van a poder ver la información de Easter porque la opportunity es private. ¿Sí? Hasta ahí, todos en la misma línea. Déjame ver, estoy abriendo otro browser para poder entrar como... Quiero ver qué usuario tengo activo.
Sí, es que a eso iba mi pregunta, ¿no? Que al final de cuentas los dashboards dinámicos se van a basar en qué puede ver cada usuario, ¿no? O cada grupo en los permisos que hay en los récords, ¿no?
Claro. Entonces, si yo veo, por ejemplo, ¿no? El grupo de Easter, tengo a Easter Bunny, ¿no? Así que acá yo estoy como que fuera el Easter Bunny, ¿no? Y vamos a ir a la aplicación de Sales. Y yo soy el Easter Bunny, ¿ven acá? Creyeron que no estaba preparada, ¿eh? Si yo voy a Opportunities está como private. Entonces acá solo voy a poder ver Opportunities de que las reglas me permitan. Como pueden ver, más allá del nombre, ¿no? Quise poner nombres muy claros. Pero si yo cambiara acá... no puedo. No sé si hice otras listas, pero si vamos al dashboard, y ahora te lo hago más grande porque el dashboard está en un folder que tengo compartido con todos. Yo puedo ver acá, recuerden que soy el Easter Bunny, ¿no? Entonces el Easter Bunny es un usuario común que no tiene privilegios de administrador. Entonces aquí puedo ver este folder con quién está compartido, con estos 3 public groups. Así que todo el mundo puede entrar a este dashboard. ¿Sí? Y ahora lo hicimos dinámico. Vamos a ver si, solo para confirmar, el dashboard es dinámico. O sea que la información que muestre va a ser dependiendo de quién entre a verlo. ¿Sí? Le damos save, le damos done.
Esa es la parte que no entiendo, porque cómo es dinámico y que cada quien va a ver o sea, cada quien puede ver lo que entra a ver si al final de cuentas, es decir,
El
el no
reporte es
hacer,
el mismo y el dashboard es el mismo, ¿no?
sí, pero sí, la información es la misma, pero cada persona tiene acceso a cierta información de acuerdo a los sharing rules y todo eso.
Exacto.
Entonces, digamos que si creo un reporte y me logueo con una persona que no, a un dashboard más bien, que no tiene acceso a esa información, pues no la va a ver tampoco, ¿no?
Exacto. Pero
Entonces,
dependiendo de cómo sea el dashboard. Si el dashboard es dinámico, no. Pero si el dashboard está como el administrador, sí. Entonces, mira, yo veo el reporte. Los reportes siempre respetan sharing rules. Entonces, en el reporte yo no voy a poder ver otro tipo de información que no sea la que yo tengo acceso, ¿no? Entonces, podemos ver que el related holiday solo tengo Easter, no tengo Halloween ni tengo Christmas. Sabemos que está ahí la información porque ya lo vimos, pero el Easter Bunny no tiene acceso, ¿no? Vamos a ver el dashboard. Ahora lo hicimos dinámico. Entonces, si yo entro como el Easter Bunny, solo veo la información que yo puedo ver. Es el mismo dashboard, tiene los mismos componentes, toma la información de los mismos reportes, pero me muestra solo la información que yo puedo ver. Ahora vamos a hacer una prueba y vamos a cambiarlo a que lo veamos em, como el administrador, ¿no? Entonces, si hay un dashboard que todo el mundo puede ver, por ejemplo, correrlo como una persona que tiene acceso a esa información está bueno. En el trabajo, por ejemplo, tenemos muchos equipos que los Dynamic Dashboards solo tienes 10. Solamente 10 dashboards en toda la org pueden ser dinámicos. Si necesitas más, hay que comprarlos. Entonces, aquí entra un poco el entender cuáles son las necesidades de la gente para poder definir si es un dashboard dinámico o no. Nosotros tenemos en el trabajo, es una empresa financiera y tenemos muchos grupos independientes. Vamos a pensarlos como diferentes departamentos que tienen o diferentes equipos de venta. Y cada uno tiene sus clientes y no pueden compartir información de los clientes porque es muy sensitiva, ¿no? Entonces, si nosotros queremos hacer un dashboard que todos puedan usar, creamos reportes genéricos y hacemos un dashboard dinámico. Entonces, ese dashboard cada quien va a entrar y va a ver la información solo de sus clientes, no va a ver la información de otro cliente. Pero a lo mejor un equipo en particular quiere un dashboard específico, por ejemplo, de todos los clientes que tengan X monto en ventas y que tengan o que estén en cierto estado. Entonces, o en cierto, yo qué sé, en cierta ciudad. Ese dashboard lo podemos hacer y que el running user sea una persona de ese equipo, porque a lo mejor nuestros sharing rules determinan que cada equipo puede ver la información de ese equipo y no de otros equipos, ¿no? Entonces, ahí te permite como crear el dashboard y que se vea en el dashboard la información de esa persona en específico, pero al final sabes que la información que esa persona ve es la información que todos en su equipo pueden ver. ¿Me explico? Es un poco enredoso. Bueno, ahora, y acá te dice quién es el running user. Ahora estoy viendo el dashboard como el system admin, ¿no? Como yo. Bueno, como yo no, porque si yo soy el Easter Bunny. Pero entonces puedo ver todo lo que esta persona puede ver en el dashboard. Aunque yo sea Easter Bunny y aunque yo no tenga permiso para ver esta información. Si yo doy clic en el reporte, vamos a darle clic derecho para abrirlo en un nuevo tab. El reporte no me va a mostrar toda esa información porque los reportes respetan la seguridad y los sharing rules. ¿Sí? ¿Más o menos? ¿Más
Ok.
confuso? ¿Menos confuso?
Entonces los dashboards no respetan los sharing rules y por eso se tienen que hacer dinámicos. Es pregunta, ¿verdad?
Sí, los dashboards muestran la información de la persona que los corre. Entonces tú puedes definir que la persona que está ejecutando el dashboard sea una persona en específico, o sea, déjame ir a la otra. ¿Dónde está? Ah, me perdí. Tú puedes definir que sea una persona en específico, por ejemplo, yo podría ponerle acá que el running user sea Santa, ¿no? No sé si Santa puede ver algo, pero porque tiene un rol, una licencia platform. Ah, ¿viste? Eso es una cosa a considerar también, ¿no? Y seguimos como revisando bloques de sesiones anteriores. Las licencias platform no tienen acceso a opportunities. Entonces, Santa no tiene acceso a ver opportunities. Entonces, si yo soy el Easter Bunny y el dashboard se corre como Santa, no voy a ver nada. Entonces, el dashboard muestra la información dependiendo del usuario que elijas como la persona que va a correr el dashboard. Si lo pones dinámico, tienes la ventaja de que muestra la información a la que cada usuario, o sea, el usuario que entra a verlo, tiene acceso. ¿Sí? Mejor. Como dicen en Estados Unidos, clear as mud.
Ok, entonces solo quiero saber si entendí bien. Cuando creas un dashboard normal que no es dinámico, y puedes verlo como los diferentes perfiles, ¿no? Pero un dashboard dinámico solamente te deja ver lo que te dejaron ver, o sea, no puedes seleccionar verlo como otro perfil porque es lo único que puedes ver. O no sé si me confundí más, perdón.
Claro, no es que puedas ver lo que otros perfiles pueden ver. Ahora tendría que recrear todos los dashboards. Ah, me encanta. Em, como Santa no tenía acceso, em, se descomponen todos los componentes. Y entonces, las veces que me ha pasado esto, no les quiero contar. Y entonces tienes que recrear todos los componentes. Pero el dashboard, sí. Tú vas a poder ver la información que puede ver la persona que es quien corre el reporte. Entonces, el dashboard.
Y el dinámico es...
El dinámico es, puedes ver la información a la que tú tienes acceso. O sea, a la que cada quien tiene acceso.
Lo siento, es que me suena igual.
Acá, mira. Un dashboard dinámico. Un dashboard en donde seleccionas a una persona, vamos a suponer que seleccionamos a Easter Bunny, ¿no? Entonces, todos van a ver lo que el Easter Bunny puede ver cuando entren al dashboard. Van a ver el dashboard como si fueran el Easter Bunny. Cuando es un dashboard dinámico, van a ver el dashboard como si fueran ellos mismos. ¿Me explico? ¿Es un poco más claro eso? Entonces, si yo soy Santa y entro al dashboard, voy a ver la información de Santa. Si yo soy el conejito, voy a entrar y voy a ver la información del conejito. Si soy Jack de Halloween, voy a entrar y voy a ver la información de Halloween, no la información de otra persona o a la que otro rol tiene acceso.
Ok, ya, creo que ya.
¿Sí? ¿Mejor?
Sí, mejor, gracias,
Voy a
perdón.
buscar un ejemplo un poco más claro. Ahora ya rompí el dashboard y ya va a estar complicado arreglarlo, pero...
Eso sucede en la vida real.
Sí. She's asking me, I broke the dashboard because I selected a user that has a platform license. So now, because the platform license does not have access to opportunities, I broke the dashboard. And she's asking me if this happens in real life. Yes,
It does.
happens.
Yes.
And it's very painful. So we went over the differences with dynamic dashboards, and they are very confusing, but hopefully we were able to solve the question. So just one more thing that I want to share is ask questions when you're creating reports for users. I have a user, this week I need to build a ton of reports at work, and users don't know what they need or what they are asking for. So they give you kind of like an idea and you have to figure out. So I just want, I don't know if I have this. I want to read. So let's pretend they have a report already that is an accounts and contacts report, right? So when you go into an account, and if this is in your page layout, you will see the activity timeline. Usually people have it here on the right side. You may have it in a different way. And the activity timeline shows tasks and events, and when you're logging a call, if you sent an email, and so on. So this person tells me, she sends a report, like a sample report to me, and she has just contacts and accounts. And she says, I want this built for 6 different people. So each one should have their own data. And I want you to add the last note description. And I'm like, what? What is she saying? So I take a look at the report that she sends me, and there's like, we don't have a last note field in accounts or contacts, right? So I'm not sure what she's trying to tell me. So I reply back, what do you mean by note? Where do you see that in the screen? Because I need to know what she's seeing and what she wants in the report. So my point is, at the end of the day, she calls notes to all the tasks and calls, she logs and all that information. Those are notes for her. So you kind of need to know a little bit your clients or your users and identify what they are looking for, because they are not technical and they don't know Salesforce the way you will know Salesforce. So you have to figure out what they are looking for. So she wants a report on accounts and contacts and tasks. So now I think I'm able to create the report, but I just wanted to share that because that's something that will happen very often. At least it happens to me like all the time. So ask questions and maybe have a session with them and ask them, what do you see? So what information you're trying to see on your report, and what are the filters? And you don't say, tell me the filters that you need, of course, but you ask them, what is the criteria that you need in your report? So yeah, just that. That's all I wanted to. I don't know if there are any more questions. I added in the slides some additional information, some resources that I think will be valuable. Oh, this guy David is amazing. He's super amazing on reports on dashboards. So go take a look at his dashboard dojo thing. He shared some. This is the recording of the session we had with him. He's super amazing. So I highly recommend to see this video. And you already have this, I think, in Classroom. If not, Ismael or Roberto can let me know and I can share it again. And yeah, that's it for me. If there are no more questions, hopefully it was useful.
It was useful to me. I learned a few things again. Thank you so much, Barbara. That was awesome. And then we'll share the presentation with you guys so you can get the links in that are at the end of the page or at the end of the deck. Are there any other questions related to reports and dashboards we can answer? Okay. So right now, it looks like we're going to have about an hour and 15-minute break until Grisel comes back for part 2. Grisela, for our LinkedIn coaching, there isn't anything to cover right now. So Ismael, I don't know if you have any additional words, but otherwise we can just all check back in. I will be driving, so I won't be checking back in, but I know David and Martin will be back as well.
Okay, thank you, Bárbara. Solamente recordar a los chicos, 12:15 tenemos la otra sesión, la parte 2 con Giselle. No sé si tengan alguna otra pregunta para Bárbara. Realmente está muy completo. Muy bien.
Excellent.
Chicos.
Y cualquier cosa escriben en WhatsApp y capaz que no contesto en los próximos 5 minutos a que escribieron, pero prometo escribir. Así que cualquier duda que tengan, no se la queden porque ninguna duda es tonta. Les prometo. No silly questions. Así que...
No silly questions.
Sí, igual la información se las comparto ahí en Classroom en un rato más. Okay.
Excellent. All right. We'll see you guys in a little bit then. Thanks, Barbara.
Bye.
See you, Barbara.
Bye.
Bye-bye.